Hi, my name is Perry, son of Ruthie Diamond Eisner. My great-grandparents, Diamond, who you see in the picture, had 17 children. I have an article about one of those 17 children, whose name is Norma. She's having a 100th birthday party, and her son, Dan Schaffer, wrote this article. So I'd like to read this article right now. I have guilt pangs now that I have some degree of empathy and can begin to put myself in her place. Her stories only sadden me. Nakama, Norma, my mother, born in 1899, was the fifth of 17 children. She felt ignored in that crowd, and probably was. 6 of her siblings didn't live to adulthood. Life was uncertain. She survived smallpox, back then a potentially fatal disease, with almost unnoticeable facial scars. She noticed them, though, and believed herself ugly. Older brothers and sisters came to America eventually, sent for the rest of the family. Norma's parents and the youngest kids left Lamza, Poland for Cleveland, Ohio in 1914. Norma and 3 of her sisters were to follow soon after, but World War broke out in August, and the girls were stranded in Poland for 6 years. My mother was 15. They lived with cruel relatives, went through Russian and German bombardments of Warsaw, braved Russian army patrols to scrounge for potatoes, and missed their parents. When they finally reunited in Cleveland in 1920, Norma hoped for her parents' attention. Instead, her father doted on the youngest daughter, who was the baby when they left Poland before the war. In 1921, Norma married Mordecai, or Maurice. From the start, they had money problems. Maurice was a lumpmensch. His head was in the clouds. His get-rich-quick dreams almost led to hard times. They had 4 children, 2 girls and 2 boys. I was the youngest. Kyle Eve, the firstborn, died of a botched tonsillectomy when she was 3. My mother never came close to getting over Kyle. As recently as 5 years ago, she spoke of her continuing agony. Kyle's death was the one event in my mother's life that I couldn't empathize with. I felt terrible for her mourning, but it wasn't until I had a daughter of my own and felt a parent's boundless love that I realized the never-ending, searing hole in my life that would result if I ever lost her. Norma's and our last great loss was in 1982 when Maurice died. With all their pain and grief, they suited each other. Norma didn't realize exactly how well suited they were until he was gone. It is time for the happier side of this woman of valor's life. My mother is strong and happy. She has wonderful care at the Jacob Health Care Center. My brother in Israel and my sister in Boston see her when they visit, as do their kids and grandkids. During most of her life, my mother would never have believed how content she would be going into the last 20 of her 100 years. I can begin to appreciate that contentment, and I hope one day to know exactly what it feels like. She will probably have ice cream at her birthday party. This adult would like to taste some on that July day in San Diego. Dan Schaffer is his son. He's an attorney in San Diego.